My goodness, it's now session 15, our longest standing online campaign thus far for the channel On the Edge of Shadow. Oh my goodness, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. This is A Haunted March. Now, we're going to be picking this up quite literally seconds after last session. So, all nightmare ensuing from the last probably about 15-20 minutes of the previous session. Grant, Blogveer has the floor.
Young, we gotta go. We gotta go now.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yes. She's still here.
I don't know.
Around.
She could be anywhere.
That chilling foulness on the wind is still hanging thick in the air, kind of like with a choking mist, if you will. It is disgusting, and it's those eyes. You don't know where they're from, but they are indeed upon you.
Gather my stuff up as quickly as I can.
Yep. Get the fuck out of there.
It's quite literally in the middle of the night, guys.
We light a torch. I don't know. We can't get the fuck out of here.
You guys still have your supplies, if I understand correctly. You should have about 4 days worth of provisions for the two of you. Obviously, Blogveer being an ogre, he consumes twice that much. But I'll give you a few moments to go over your provisions and kind of make a game plan as you guys are packing the shop. Go for it.
So I got some decent trail rations here in this pack block here. I've got a few days worth. We got a few bit there. I can do some hunting along the way. We need to. Shihan sits there and thinks about it for just a moment. Makes a quick traveling check real quick, which is going to be a
penalty because there's no moon in the sky tonight.
Okay. Well, before the penalty, then I had a 21.
Oh yeah. Okay. You just barely made this one, so fear has given way to proficiency at this time. So you, what direction? I suppose on the compass, are you wanting to travel?
Well, we need to continue going north because that's the direction of where we were originally heading to be back up with the Arboreans, let them know what was going on. So I'm going to, let's see, just a quick layout in my mind. How exactly are we oriented? Which direction is the river? Is it to our east or to our west?
It is to your east. Wait, excuse me. Yes, the east. Sorry.
Okay. And there's a mountain range basically behind us, right? To the west.
It's not a mountain range, but it's that ridge that makes up the eastern rib of the valley there.
In that case, I look at Blogveer and say, I think we should probably hug the ridge for tonight. We can scatter around those slavers down below. We want to run back into them again if we can help it. But maybe that little lady will get out of there tonight and possibly find us in the dark. You never know. She'll probably head toward the hills anyway because that's where her natural habitat is anyway. So let's stick to the ridge.
Yeah. Whatever, Red Blade. The ridge. Yeah. Let's just get out of here. Let's go.
Okay. So with that, we'll shoulder our stuff and start heading north, keeping the ridge just to our left.
All right, perfect. What I'm gonna have from Blogveer is I need you to make a sight test here.
Oh shit!
Right. Oh shit, indeed.
That's an 8 and a 1.
Oh, fuck.
So.
You feel a strange gravity pulling you to the south. And the image of your mate is called up in your mind. The smell of the sea salt on the beach and the distant, ever so distant call of gulls over the sea.
We have to go south. She's there. Kaya's there. I see her. I smell the salt.
But the Arboreans need to warn them.
I have to go save her. I have to go save her.
I understand. We need to find some way to alert the Arborians. So, I mean, they're in danger. If we abandon them and come back, I mean, how is she going to see you if she knows you abandon these people and we come back and their village is completely wiped out? I mean, they have slavers here that are heading their way. We have the cultists up in the hills that have fortified their position. I mean, they'll be sending, no telling what kind of creatures out of the valley towards them. These people are in real danger.
You're right. No, but we have to go south. But fine, we'll just keep marching. We'll keep marching, and as long as it takes, as fast as we can, to warn these Arborians. We have to go south. We have to go south as fast as we can.
Then yes, I admit we'll go as fast and as hard as we can, and as soon as we're there, I will see if they have a boat. I bet we can go south faster in a boat than we can on foot.
Blackbeard just starts booking. He starts picking up the pace. He starts just going.
And I'll try to keep the pace up myself.
I'm gonna make a conditioning roll if I can force mark. I'm gonna just keep going.
Yeah, man. Who is pulling the sled at the time?
Me.
Okay, so yeah, you're booking it with all the supplies.
Yeah. And I have a 15 in conditioning to keep up with him.
I got a 33 on conditioning.
Wow.
So I'm just going.
Nice. Yeah, don't forget that tally mark next to your physique there. Keith, make a conditioning test for your endurance.
That was a 15 for me.
Oh, that's okay, perfect. All right, so hard march. Ooh, all right, fantastic. By the time dawn breaks, you have overtaken that camp where those primordial slavers had been, and you are well on your way, kind of like cresting that northern hook where the valley kind of opens up into the north there. And that's just in one day. You guys are making damn good time. That is, I suppose, since you guys left in the middle of the night, about 7.5 hours later. 2 more days if you push it. Go ahead and tally off your provisions for that time period. You will find yourselves on the bridge that you had met the Arborians some days past. Or actually, some chains past by now. You cross into the Arborian craggy homeland there. There's another several hours on the road. What I'm going to need from you all is now a corruption test, as that haunting has dogged you this entire time. 3.5
What do we
days.
roll for that again?
That is your spirit modifier plus whatever grades in conditioning that you have for your life force.
Okay.
So it's all added together?
Yes.
Okay. 29 for me.
Beautifully done. What do we got for Blogbeer?
26.
Fantastic. All right, so back down to Odin's Rill there. You guys don't take any corruption at this time, but those eyes are very far away at this time. You finally set down, you take a few breathers. However, you guys have both 2 grades of exhaustion. The floor is yours, gentlemen.
We made good time. Made really good time.
I don't know if I can make it much further though, Blackbeard. I'm gonna have to hop up on your sled. My legs are just they're Their water. So,
I'll pull you on the sled as far as I can. We gotta go. We gotta go. She needs me.
Shihan looks around, knowing where he's sort of at. Reaches down, pulls at his hunting horn, and blows a long blast, a horn blast of calling for aid.
You guys are in the village. There's
Oh.
no need.
Okay, I thought we were still at the bridge. I'm sorry.
No.
Okay, in that case, not doing that.
Everybody's looking at us like, why are these guys talking about?
Yeah, sorry. So literally, in that case, I'll stumble into the village, fall down to my knees, and thank all the gods. We made it.
All of them? You really want to do that, Keith?
I want to thank all the gods that are important,
Ooh.
which is basically all the gods. Makes you thank the gods who would help me for their help, and thank the gods who would harm me for not doing so.
Beautiful. Okay. I wanted to make sure.
So yeah, I'll mutter a short little prayer to all the gods that went just basically like that. Thank you, those who would guide my way for your guidance, and those who would hinder me for your lack of hindrance. So, and then I'll call out for the what was his name? I'll call out for the chieftain.
All right. So yeah, the Arborian chieftain brings out a couple of his guards as well as himself. Is quite remarkably pleased to see you, but is a bit concerned for your well-being as you guys look like hell.
Danger coming in. There are slavers to the south, and the cultists have holed up in a box canyon in the valley there. You're in danger.
The local chieftain just kind of weighs your words for a few moments, and he says, I mean, our priests have known that the cultists have holed up in a box canyon within the valley. That is not unknown to us. However, the slavers, that is new.
Yes, they're from the borders of Famatras, I believe.
Oh, those red-skinned people.
Yes, the red-skinned people. Oh, and the cultists have trolls.
He just kind of rolls his eyes and goes, oh, of course they do.
They do.
Well, you haven't heard or seen that demon who slays trolls, have you?
Not yet. No, we found ourselves in a apparently one of the cultists cast some kind of a glamour upon myself and Blogfear. We found ourselves wandering far afield.
We did not expect you so late. I suppose that you have been quite far off.
Yes, they cast some glamour that clouded our minds and confused our senses and our feelings of direction, and found ourselves wandering the wilderness. Nothing making sense for a while until we came upon the Gray River, and well, the Pike King cleared our eyes and sent us on a path to get us here as quickly as possible.
I see. Well, thank you for informing us of these barbarians that reside far to the north of us. But
yes,
those cultists that we've known their location. They have quite seemingly kept to themselves.
No, they will not for long. They've definitely been raiding the tombs, gathering things. Oh, we found Blogbeard. Do you still have that tablet?
Yeah, it is in here somewhere, and I'll rummage through our provision, our packs, and everything, and look for it and pull it out.
There should be quite a few goodies actually that Blogbeard's been holding on to, but that's up to him to divulge all that information. Do you hand the tablet over to the chieftain at this time or no?
Yeah, I just give it to him.
Oh,
Still
okay.
trying to catch my breath.
Yeah. So yeah, he takes it. He looks it over. It obviously in that dialect that he's not familiar with, so he hands it off to one of the other priests.
The leader of the cultists calls himself Indu Kaga. And,
We know him. I have already met him, actually.
That's true. You have. I believe he definitely holds he definitely wants to, well, for whatever purposes his cult is after, he wants to find some kind of magic spell that'll make the skies dark and the kill the gods. Make them gods themselves mortal, so they may slay them.
He just kind of pauses for a long moment and says, "Is that quite possible? I don't
know. I was told this by one of the great ones themselves. So, the Lord of the Forest, the Antlered King. So
That's an interesting turn of events. I hope that necromancer is just raving and gone mad, but
I don't think he has. As I said, I have this on good authority, not from a necromancer, but from one of the gods themselves. Directly told me this. That this is what they're trying to do, and if a god tells you this is what they're trying to do, they probably have the ability to do it. So these men need to be dealt with, and there are too many for just being Blogbeard to deal with on our own.
perhaps if you were able to slay this Endu Kaga, it would set them back.
We could, but we'd have to get into their stronghold to do that, and I don't see any easy way to get in.
Oh, of course, it would not be easy, but
Well, no, it would not. So it'd be much easier to assault it with a large force, or to find some means of poisoning the entire bunch, possibly poisoning their water supply. I'm not sure where it comes from. I'm not from this area, so.
see the high priest kind of, or excuse me, the priest who's actually holding the tablet there. He's not a high priest. He kind of gets this look as he's kind of trying to piece it out for you and trying to weigh all this information. The chief kind of looks both at him and the other advisor there.
Shihan's eyes start drooping closed as he wobbles back and forth a bit. Eyes start open. Looks about.
How long have you been on the road?
We've not had much sleeping. What's it been, Blogbeard? 2 nights, 3 nights.
Yeah, something like that. Let's all blend in together.
We came as literally as fast as we could.
Huh. Well, I can send a messenger to the other villages nearby and see what they think.
Yes.
Currently, we are embroiled in a bit of a predicament ourselves, so at least for this, there won't be much, if any, in the way of aid from our side. There is a disagreement between some warlords that have ourselves in battle with each other.
Yes. Blogbeer. You know the mystery of the letters. Why don't you do your magic on something and send a message to Laura, the chief of the goblins? I think if they might be an ally, believe it or not. I look over at the Arborians, gauging their reaction to that.
They kind of cock an eyebrow at you, like, what? Goblins?
And the goblins in the valley are being preyed upon by these cultists just as much as anybody else is. Their people are being taken as slaves.
Well, goblins make good slaves.
They do.
They're easily to be broken, and then they have strong backs. I don't know why would you not?
Sure.
They're not helping, so they're
well, they might actually help in this one because they're as afraid of the troll slayer as the trolls are, I guess. So if you offer them protection from the troll slayer, they may actually work for you as, I don't know, arrow fodder.
Huh.
I'm no tactician, but I think if your Arborians were to back up a group of these goblins charging this stronghold, you may actually break through and rid yourselves once and for all of these cultists, or at least drive them off, slow them down a bit. Or I do have some bad news for you. He sort of flops down on a little stump nearby.
More?
Well, it's more of a personal nature. I believe a Fey being has placed a geas upon poor Blogveer here.
Everyone looks at Blogveer. Maybe a little bit more disappointing from the chieftain than the others, but everyone kind of shoots him like an awkward look.
We have to go to the south. We have to.
As you see, he's been given a vision of his true love and where she is.
And that affects us how? It's unfortunate for him that he has been plagued in such a way and having his mate torn from him.
Well,
but I fail to see why that is our concern.
Well, you won't have the brave Blogveer slayer of giants at your side. Unfortunately, if you don't wish to deal with these cultists, or if you wish to ball them up and hold them there in their little canyon for a bit until we get back, possibly we could send Great Blogveer in there and his giant slaying club to deal with this in Kugaga. Or Indukaga, sorry.
I was under the impression that that is what you were going to do anyway.
Well, yes, until we got there and realized that there was an entire army between us and him. I figured we'd be dealing with a handful of cultists, not some great mercenary band.
Who is giving you this information that they are vast in numbers?
We saw them. We've slain several of them, and those who were captured among them told us of a great many in this valley.
Well, then you will have to display some level of cunning to dispatch them where you can, or at least slay whoever is in charge. As these cults go, when their leaders are slain, they tend to fall to corruption and fighting in amongst themselves.
Shihan looks over at Blogbeer and says, well, we shall attend to that, I suppose, then as soon as we possibly can. He looks somewhat disapprovingly at these Arborians who apparently are not wanting to deal with the problem on their doorstep. Says, I suppose, might we borrow a small corner of a shelter for a bit of rest before we take off to slay these foul beasts that plague you in this area, and are going to slay your gods and ours as well?
The chieftain he points over to the cottage that you had used since the last time you'd been here. You're free and welcome to use that as you wish.
Thank you. He gathers his stuff up and takes what feels like the longest walk of the trip to the door of that cottage, goes inside, drops his stuff, and just falls on a mat and starts snoring.
Thud.
Yes.
Yeah, Blogbear basically does the same thing, dragging the sled and everything behind him.
All right. So we'll have a little bit of downtime here, as Blogveer is still plagued by whatever this horrible thing is, that green-eyed washer demon. I love how you love that thing. That is ooh.
That's what I give her taking a shower. Like when I go bathe, that's what I get for bathing. I get plagued by a demon. So this just goes to show you, just don't bathe ever, and demons won't mess with you.
No, it's because Rafe will come up with something fucking horrible and haunt your nightmares with it.
Yep, exactly.
Now, Blogveer does not sleep well. No, of course he doesn't. He's plagued with images of this horribly hideous thing coming after him in his sleep. The thing is, though, in all of these dreams, it doesn't get him. She's there. Just the fact that she's present is scary enough, but she doesn't kill you. She doesn't harm you in any way. There are images of things that you love dear being taken from you, but she doesn't hurt you, and that sticks out as a huge red flag. And it almost seems as if you close your eyes, and a few milliseconds later, the cockerel crows the next morning, and that sleep has not helped you. You have 2 grades of exhaustion yet. Shihan has been plagued not dissimilarly. It's more or less, he has images of that sacred grove that he loved to play hide and seek in. We know damn well he's not supposed to play hide and seek there. But that tree, and you know the tree,
Yes.
fascinates you.
Yeah.
One night that grove will be burning. The next night there will be goblins in that grove. And as a fair folk yourself, that is horrible sacrilege. It's now, as we know, fair folk are viciously unforgiving of those who trespass and desecrate the graves of their dead. Now, you differentiate the grove from a graveyard in the way where fair folk who are allegedly, quote, died of old age, unquote, go to the grove. Those who have died from plagues, sickness, or in battle go to the graveyard. Non-fair folk, and even fair folk who are not allowed or given permission by the group of rangers that actually oversees both of these areas, that it does not matter. Man, woman, child, animal, vegetable, or mineral, you are put to death publicly. So the image of goblins being in this is an act of war. And
I'll wake up yelling, "Goblins! Goblins!" Darn it. Look over at Blogbeer. Did you get any rest at all last night?
Bloodshot eyes, barely open. Like, no, not really.
the cockerel crows once more.
We need supplies and we need a barge to go south. We have to go south.
We have to deal with these cultists in some way too. Maybe they have a barge we can just steal.
They wish for us to do all the work while they quarrel among themselves while their very lives are at stake.
They do, yes, they do.
I'm very used to us. As long as this demon has a hold on me, I must go and I must save Kaya. I must give her these Arborians to wash, or I will get no rest. I will die from exhaustion.
Yes, I think I fear you will otherwise. Oh, Blogbeer, what are we going to do with you? I sort of laugh a little bit, chuckle under the breath.
What would the world do without us to save it from everything? They won't save themselves.
Yes, what we do for love. So, I don't think these Arborians will help us with a raft or a boat or anything like that.
The least they can do is give us more supplies, seeing as if we damn near killed ourselves to get them information that apparently they already have.
I know. I wonder why they even sent us in there. They must have sent us to our deaths. That's got to be it.
They expected us to do everything for them or die trying. They're too busy fighting amongst themselves to care.
I'm afraid that's the case, yes. So, shall we go find us a boat?
Yeah. Just Logger would just get himself up, like just effort. It takes a lot of effort. Like he may lean on his club or something, just get himself to his feet. You know, he's so weary. His eyes are just damn near shut at all times. His eyes are bloodshot, like someone just kept throwing sand in them constantly.
Yes. Get up, go out, find I guess they have a well or a spring in town, yes?
Yes, they have a well in the center of the town. It's actually about maybe a few dozen yards away from your hut, actually.
Okay. I'll walk out and draw a bucket of water, back up and dump it over my head.
You notice that you are not alone at the well.
Well, that's fine.
As the boy, Corwin, is actually standing next to the well, looking up at you.
Okay. I'll look down at him, water dripping off of my eyebrows and down my face, cutting through the dust of the road.
He yawns and says, "I bid you a good morning."
Good morning, Corwin.
It sounds like you have not had much luck on your hunting trip.
Oh,
Yes.
we've had too much luck.
Oh. Is there such a thing as too much luck? He actually asks with a kind of like a boyish, naive charm, if you will.
Shihane grins. He says, "When you're hunting a single woolly beast and you top a rise to see an entire herd, yes, that is very good. That is very lucky and a lot of meat. But a single hunter might have trouble taking down the entire herd. Yes."
Oh, yes. I suppose it is similar to the luck of when one goes fishing and comes back with too much fish that one person cannot haul.
That, or if one happens to hook some great beast in the water, and though it would feed an entire village for a month,
You can't bring it back.
the struggle may be too much for the person to bring it in. Yes, but one must do what one must do. Blah.
I heard the adults as he kind of eyes you with this. It sinks in now. You've not interacted with the boy very much, but
Yeah.
and now Bloodveer, you're now emerging from your hut, and Corwin has a cunning streak in him. He's not a stupid young boy. And he goes, "Well, I have heard some of the grown-ups talk about you requiring a boat to get back down and to visit these Atlanteans."
Visit's one word for it.
Well, I say visit with all the intent of one would go sup with one's enemies, you see.
Yes, we will be visited upon them.
And I would hope you do some battle while you are there.
Oh yes.
I have a boat. Well, it's not mine, but I know where I can find one.
Where is it?
Oh, good morning, Blogbear.
Where is this boat going?
It's actually the boat. It's my uncle's boat, and he doesn't use it anymore. He has a fishing friend who is indeed an ogre himself, but he is not as large as Blogveer is. Now, I have spirited such a thing away in the reeds, and because my uncle won't miss it, you can take it.
Why would you do this for us? What do you get out of it?
You get to stick it to those foreigners from across the sea.
Shihan grins.
Well,
He says,
I would hope that you both come back alive first, but again, that over God, how would you describe it? That overconfidence of a 14-year-old boy.
"You, boy, have a mischievous streak that will either lead you to ruin or lead you to greatness."
Oh well, I'm an acolyte now, and he goes into his tunic and he pulls out a Fey Iron holy symbol of Lekra.
Ah.
I've only just started my studies, but I am told by many of the, and someone has a primitive. Oh my God, I can't think of that musical instrument now, right, Keith?
Lyre?
Yeah, no, yeah. Just for a little bit. There's a minstrel off somewhere. Your texting tone. At least I think
that's my wife.
Oh.
Sorry.
Harmonica. There we go.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's her phone going off. Yeah, sorry.
He's just eavesdropping and then playing the harmonica, like
Yeah, right.
randomly.
Arborians
What the
play
fuck?
harmonicas. Of course they do. I mean, duh. Anyway, no, I'm told by a couple of the monks and the other priests that much the same. My cunning and mischievousness might bring me to an early grave or see me to Lekra's praise. We will see.
Well, I, for one, am glad that you're mischievous and devious and cunning because we need that boat.
That we do, and thank you very much for your for your yes for your deeds there. Do you by chance use the bow?
I know of the bow. I've practiced some, but I am no marksman.
What weapon do you favor as of now?
He kind of pats this. Pats a broadsword on his hip. That's actually made for his size. So on you, it'd probably be like a really big fighting knife.
Okay.
My shield got broken in the last skirmish, but this is all I have right now. I'm trying to fix my bow because it broke.
I tell you what. He goes over to the sled, reaches down and takes one of his spears off the side, one of his bronze head spears that he'd gotten in one of the battles with the trollmen back when
A couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He walks over and he holds it out to the boy. Here, try this.
He takes it. Of course, the thing is built for someone a lot taller than he is, but yeah.
Learn to use that before I get back.
Well, what's the footwork like?
Similar to what you would have with the sword, but a bit longer. Your reach is much further, and you must keep your opponent at a distance. One does not close close in and clash shields with the spear user.
I see.
It'll give you the reach, twice the reach of a man full grown.
Huh. All right.
And he'll sit there and show him real quick how the balance point works and how he can use his front hand as both a pivot and a slide point, and to hold his backhand very back, almost at the butt of the weapon, to give him more motion. And tell him, see here how you would hold a two-handed sword. It's the same way, but your grip is much broader. So give him a basic lesson real quick.
He'll practice a couple times. Clearly, the thing is awkward and huge on him, but he's not. He does not shy away from what you're showing him.
Yes. Learn this, and if you can, get some of the other village boys together and cut saplings into poles, and have them practice as well.
The priests, they learn to use spears and pole arms with deadly proficiency. So, I suppose this is my first spear now.
It is. So,
well, thank you. If you meet me back here, I suppose in half the hour, I can bring your supplies. And as you've been talking, the village is starting to wake up, and they have like this tiny little like farmers flea market thing going on here. And I can bring you to where my uncle's boat will be.
Then we will see you in the mere passing of half an hour.
All right. He couches the spear under his armpit there, and he jogs off with the thing, leaving you.
Hold it up, boy. Hold it up.
Oh, he does what you said. And, keeps the point off the ground.
Okay. I go back and gather our stuff together.
We need more supplies if we're going to make this trip.
That's what he's going to bring us.
I hope he brings a lot.
I hope he does too. Maybe
what he said is he's going to bring. he's left you to get your own supplies. He's
Okay.
going to come back and find you, or actually bring you to the boat, is what he said.
Well, in that case, we'll need to do some trading then. So I'll go back and see what we have to trade on the sled. I know we have a few items. So,
This is why we have a large inventory section on our character sheet. So
yes.
good use for that.
Let's see here.
There's quite a bit here actually to be had. Most in the way of crops and tools, primitive farming implements.
Mhm.
I have not been keeping track of your loot. I've left that up to you lot. So, what exactly do you want to get here? And I will tell you what they have.
Primarily, I need to get foodstuffs.
Right.
Make sure we have enough food.
Yeah.
And and then of course
Keep in
some basic.
mind that for you, for Shihan, he'll consume about one portion of provisions per day. As Bloodveer is twice your height, he will consume 2.
Right. I will see if we can do a quick sort of mind exercise, thinking of envisioning the map in my head, and seeing the river as it coils down the way, with a traveling check of, let's see, of a 20.
Ooh.
About how many days rations we need to get to the coast if we go by river.
By river to like all the way to the ocean, you're saying.
Just in case. That's
ooh, that is oh god, that's a good question. Give me a second here.
This blogger keeps talking about smelling the sea.
A second here, guys. Pulling out the map. Oh shit. It's just pulling out the map. Oh god, here we go. I wish I had the sub for StreamYard. I might actually be able to stream all of this once I actually get that for you, so you can actually see what I'm doing. So what you guys are, where you guys are on the river, you would actually have to travel. Oh, you know what? There's a okay, the Great Gray River comes down from possibly a crack in the inner world. All right, that ring. It travels south, and then it splits. One continuing straight south, or kind of like an S curve here, and then there is a fork that goes west and then south, which will inevitably also find the sea. You guys don't know exactly where these Atlanteans are per se, so you have 2 options. You could get to the sea via the west in maybe less than a chain, maybe like 8 or 9 days, or you could paddle up the river a little bit. This is against the current, mind you. Maybe about a day, or excuse me, not a day. Excuse me. That's actually a few hours to find that fork, and then go straight south. If you do the second option, you would be finding your way back towards the Nemersian tribal lands. And if you guys remember the Cairn Ward, where you guys had met the chieftain there and had the battle with the cultists and the Atlanteans a couple months ago, they told you, and you'll remember, that they were traveling south. So if you actually stay on that river, you can logically think that you might run into those people again.
Okay. So
you have options.
Okay, so you possibly have enough food stuffs to get us to where we think we might find the Nemersians. and
we're
possibly an
highlighting
additional.
current again.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think where we could actually go to get there. 'Cause, I mean, I'd prefer to go with current down to the sea or toward the sea. Or am I thinking
Well-
backwards?
Both will take you to the sea. One will be a little bit longer.
Okay.
The shorter option will be taking you into unexplored territory.
Okay. It'd probably be better for us to take the longer route. I don't know. What do you think, Blockbeard? You're going with me too. This is your quest.
I want to get there as fast as possible, but I'm not stupid.
Hmm.
If it takes us longer, but we are more likely to meet the Nemercians and we're not in uncharted lands, then we should probably take the longer way.
And we can alert them to what's going on in the north as well before we go. Let them know what maybe they can send some help up here to deal with these cultists while we're gone. At least slow them down. Maybe spread the word of what they're actually doing.
Part of me wishes and hopes that we don't do anything and the cultists come up here to the Arborians and they have to deal with them themselves. But
yeah, says Shihan. He glances off to the direction of where the little boy Corwin had just ran off to. He says, I don't know if I would necessarily like that or not.
it's just my hatred talking. We do all this work and they don't even wish to contribute, it seems.
They did say that they had their problems of their own. So
Yes, but the bickering wolves don't see the greater threat looming over the hill stalking them.
that is true. That is true. Well, I've got Shihan starts going through some of the things he has. I have some arrowheads here I can trade. He has about 24 bronze arrowheads. I do have some arrows as well. I don't give him a rope.
You never want to get rid of your rope.
Yeah. Yeah. We got a few. I mean, we didn't really get a chance to get back and get any of the gear off of those one fellows up in the hills of the trolls. Although you have a troll skull, don't you?
No, the trolls have, the goblins have them.
That's right.
I did manage to take some of the gear off the people when I was getting rid of the troll heads, just a few here and there, but I didn't strip them completely.
No, those things, whatever we have, we could possibly offer to these Arborians here. So yeah,
If we have to, we'll take what we need.
If we have to, yes. I'd prefer to make sure we know where this boat is before we do that.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a shame it came to this.
It is.
The thought of having to steal from what we thought were allies.
It is what it is. So, let's see here. Do I have one here? Yeah, that's about all I have. Okay. Well, if we're going back the way we came, I know where we can get a cache of some stuff. As you recall, we hid some supplies along the way.
If they're still good. It has been a while.
Well, there were quite a bit of bronze items in that. So if nothing else, it'd be trade goods. But that won't help us today. So yeah, he'll pull out the well, actually, he'll pull out one of his other. Let me see. We're carrying them all together. I know Shihan had at least 2 copper-headed spears that were somewhat ornate he got from Trollman at one point.
You didn't write them down?
Well, I have. Well,
Keith,
I
God.
did at one point in a document
On your other laptop.
Yeah.
Oh no!
But I have some stuff listed here that I've got that it's since then. But yeah, Exactly. I know there were some hand axes. There was some. There were, I think, about 4 spears. There were like 2 copper spears and 2 stone-headed spears.
Okay.
Um,
For the sake of the, I suppose, the pressure of the situation, we'll go with the fact that in you getting lost and the rigmarole of everything, so you lost those things.
Okay. That's fine.
You may or may not have dropped them for like a hidden cache somewhere of weapons and tools, but at this moment in time, you don't quite
Okay.
remember where
Okay.
those are.
That's true. So, okay. In that case, I have the arrowheads. Have those written down. Torches have been used.
I believe you have like 2 left.
Torches, yeah, probably total of 2 left, probably.
You had 6 originally.
Yes, we've used a few. So,
Right.
so yeah, we traveled at night a couple of times. He has. I would say, due to breakages, I had probably about 40 bronze arrows left. So, because I had a total of 54 when I left. So I'm expecting breakage of a few. So, yeah, I mean, we have the day possibly to get supplies together. So I may go over and actually offer my services to maybe help someone repair some arrows or some, a bow possibly, because I do have the bowyer skill.
I will say that for the sake of pressure here, you don't really have much in the way of time.
Okay, so start going through stuff, and then I hear the clink of something, and I pull out a bag from the sled, and I said, "What about this blood? Is it worth anything?" Pull up a bag of Atlantean coinage.
It's worth something to someone. There's no harm in trying to barter with it.
Yeah, they're pretty at least. He pulls out one of them and holds it up.
We melted down and made into a small dagger. I don't know. But someone would want them.
Yeah, so the ladies might want to put them in their hair or something. I don't know.
You should have a small bag of silver and gold coinage at this point.
Yeah, we've never actually dealt with silver and gold.
Did you?
We've always bartered.
Did you actually write down how many, or?
I don't think you ever told us exactly how many we had. Just as a small bag.
Oh my goodness! All right. Shame on the narrator. God damn. That is 16 gold and 19 silver total.
Yeah, we can always go over and ask. So
it's got the gold coins have the face of a rather pretty looking you assume to be a Atlantean woman, and the silver coins, it looks like it has your characters have no idea what that would be, but it's a fish, but player knowledge is it's a tiger shark.
Yeah, we have no idea what it means. It's a weird fish. So okay, I guess we'll take some of these over there and talk to the people in the town square and see if we can get ourselves provisioned up in exchange for these pretty baubles.
Moving through the market here, you do see Warwick. You do remember him. He is working on a new hide. It looks like a bear hide, according to how opulent this damn thing is. Quite a big beast. You have no idea where Frigith is. She's probably off doing something. There are several farmers bringing their produce in. There's a couple hunters that have dried venison on racks, dried fish, that sort of thing. So plenty in the way of food. There is an ogre seamstress. Well, seamstress has a connotation for a female, but he's indeed tailor. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
Do they have any fishing poles? I mean, if we're gonna be on the river, we can. If we run out, we can try to fish for ourselves or something.
Their fishing spears would be would work for you guys.
I can use those,
and there's plenty of that.
I can use those. Okay, I'll go over and talk to Warwick real quick before we start buying things. Oh, Warwick, that's Bear.
Oh, he turns around. He gives you a grin. He goes, "Yeah, damn thing broke my spear when I got him." And he points to this big old gash, like where its neck should have been.
Mhm.
See this? See this tear? He sticks his hand through it. He goes,
You ruined the hide.
"Damn thing! I know."
So give him a big, friendly grin when I say that.
I wasn't drinking. I swear.
Of course not.
He sticks
Never.
his finger through. No.
So would you by chance have a moment to help a traveling friend?
Of course. I just finished hanging this. He turns around. He's got that kind of that tanner's like heavy apron on, and he reeks of the tannin that he's using.
Okay.
He kind of cleans his hands off with a rag. What can I get for you?
Oh, she kind of looks over his shoulder toward the farmers and stuff come in and says, "Could you give me an idea who has the better provisions and such for a trip downriver?"
How long are you going to be on the water?
Oh, at least a few chains.
A few chains. Well, do you still serve the Pike Lord?
Of course.
I would say a good few fishing spears might work for you. Lykinia, and he points down the way. I prefer her spears to anything else. Hunting spears, fishing spears, her tools. She wraps them more firmly, and she takes a greater care. You'll see when you get over there.
Okay.
But that's her name. He points her out. He points out
Yeah.
a flaxen-haired Arborian woman. She's actually kind of cute.
Mhm.
And well, there is Olivia. She is down the way. She has a knight, her husband, and her have a nice prominent farm that brings in grain, bread, that sort of thing. Probably buy or trade for a sack of barley. I know her husband is a really good hunter, and he's a very good marksman, but he's no hand for making his own arrows. It's not that he's not a good bowyer. No, he prefers other people. He prefers others making the arrows as it's an art thing. You don't have to ask him.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see.
I understand that.
But I have a few things. What are you looking for?
Oh, as you mentioned, spears, which I'll probably get from Lykinia. I'm sure they probably have some travel breads and such from Olivia and her husband. Do you have any dried meats? Maybe some of this bear left over?
Well, there's more bear than than I can have. So can eat. You can have it.
Well, thank you. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll do this. He reaches in, pulls one of the gold coins out, and says, "Here, maybe she can put it in her braids. Help with the gold coin."
He kind of takes this, and the Atlantean gold coins are about $50 sized.
Okay.
They're octagons. It's a big chunk of money.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. She's got a lot of hair too, so I'll leave it to her to see what she can put up with it. And he goes, "Oh, come here. I'll show you."
Okay.
You're going to be on the water for some time, so you're probably going to need quite a bit of rope.
Yep. I already have some, but I can always use more.
He points over to a rack that has about two, maybe. Actually, well, wait. You know what? He's got about 300 feet of braided leather rope. He goes, "You could take that."
Okay. I'll go over and pick it up and walk it over to the sled.
He will drop two already finished bear hides on you at this point, and we'll say the great big grizzly bear that he has on the rack currently. That's about, Keith, how much would you say? It's about a 600-700 pound animal.
Grizzlies can get over a ton.
All right. Well, this is a rather big specimen, so
Yeah.
he gives you, we will say, more meat than you can probably need. Blogger will be eating very well for some time. I'll say 300 pounds.
Okay. It's nice big cuts. Okay.
And he goes, do you, oh, Frigith said that she wanted to give you this last time you were here, but you left before she could hand it off to you. He goes into his hut. He comes back with 2 gold bowstrings.
Gold bowstrings.
Yeah.
Those are pretty.
She grows her hair long, and she weaves her hair into bowstrings. She said you can have these 2.
Wonderful. I've heard of this.
Oh, do your people not weave fey hair into bowstrings?
Not typically. Well, our hair is also dark and such, and doesn't really weave well.
She's also blonde. So.
There you go. So, did this a great honor.
Yeah, if your bowstring breaks, you have something nice to show off. And from what I understand, this is a little bit more durable. There's a mammoth. There's a bit of her in there, and I don't know what the other one is. It's red hair, so I don't know. She didn't tell me.
Interesting. So I'll help Blogveer carry the meat and these bowstrings and show them off. And look at that! That's just pretty.
Very nice, very nice.
Warwick,
Just loading all this meat into the sled and everything. That's a shit ton of meat.
Yeah.
Warwick looks up at Blogveer, looks up to his tired as shit eyes. He goes, friend, you, pardon my saying so, you look like hell.
That's what happens when a demon haunts you every sleeping, every waking hour, every sleeping hour.
You should
haunted.
probably see a priest soon.
They can't help me. I know what I gotta do.
Are you sure Veer can't help you?
Have Veer look at your Blogveer, but we'll be here for a moment anyway.
Very well.
He's only a few minutes up the road. Shihan and I can take care of this. You go visit your friend.
Very well. I didn't know you were 2 babushkas, but I'll go. You quit nagging.
Do you wish to see our babushka? And he kind of gets this wide-eyed look on his face. Like, you sure you want to do that?
I think I'll go see Veer. You're right. Yes. I'll go see Veer.
Oh, we have 3. We have 3 here in this village.
Oh, by the gods, one's enough. No, I'll go see Veer.
Arborian babushkas at that.
You convinced me. You don't have to say no more. As
Come
Blogville
on,
is like
Shihan. I'll
dragging
introduce you
his-
to everybody.
dragging his half-conscious body to go see Veer.
Before you guys walk off, I need you to make awareness tests here.
Okay. Awareness. Uh, 23.
Perfect.
That's a 17 for me.
Oh, awesome. Now you do spy that Warwick has a tattoo, a new one on his on the inside of his left forearm. It wasn't there the last time you saw him. It's actually it looks like a serpent, but the thing has wings, so it's a long dragon that's actually kind of wrapped around his wrist, kind of like a bracelet. And that's a heraldic symbol of some kind. Was not there the last time you saw him, and he was not absolutely wearing one, or actually had a tattoo at the battle. So,
Warwick,
yeah.
what's the story with the serpent on your wrist?
Oh, this he pulls up his sleeve and he shows to you. I have been made a lord since last you've been here.
Oh, congratulations,
Lord, well, that's
Lord Warwick. Shihan will scrub a deep brow.
Oh,
there's
no value to
Lord.
you doing that. Don't bow. I'm lord of a small village to the east of here named Izan.
He's on.
I am now Warwick the Wild of Izan.
Then I shall make sure that when I tell tales of your bravery, I make sure that's also mentioned. Warwick, the Lord Warwick, the Wild of Izan. So,
Well, it is a new change for me as I am used to managing and seeing over my own home. Now I am managing and seeing over the homes of others as well. So
yes.
my militia is only 40 spears strong, but it's still a militia.
Well, Warwick looks around a bit and says, while Blogveer goes and visits with his priest, maybe we should put our heads together about something.
Perhaps.
And with that, if you want to transition over to Blogveer going and speaking with his priest.
Oh yeah, we'll change scenes here. I suppose about 20 minutes up the road, you start smelling that telltale fragrance of carnage, Blogveer.
It actually puts a little pep in my step. I kind of smile a little bit, kind of energizes me. This putrid, fetid stench is just like perfume to me. So I kind of get a little pep in my step as I'm going up there.
Oh, of course. The shrine is as you left it, however, is drenched in fresh blood. If you describe for us how you approach this vicinity.
Well, still dragging my body there. Not as zombie-like, since I do have some pep in my step now from smelling the aroma. I will just lumber up there and I'll call out, "Where are you here?" That rhymed.
A few moments later, I am here. He emerges from his ogre hut. A great big smile on his face. He's Blogveer. He comes over to you and again he embraces you in the ogre fashion. Your travels and carnage bring you back safely. But he pauses. He's going to hold you out at arm's length. He takes a look over you. You are weary and ragged from... He points to a boulder nearby. Come, sit. We must speak. What has happened to you?
I fear I'm in the thralls of a demon.
Why so? Whom have you angered in such a way?
I don't believe I've angered anyone. It's very, very queer. When last I was here bathing in the river, I saw an old crone. I thought it was a babushka. She was washing a shield, an Atlantean shield, with a severed hand. And she,
His eyes go wide for moments.
so you know of her?
No,
Yes.
you have trod upon a washer demon. It is a foul thing. How? Oh, what did you do? What did you say to her? What did she said to you?
I get goosebumps, by the way, just how fucking creepy this bitch is, just thinking about it.
I offered my help thinking she was a babushka, but as soon as I saw those green eyes,
No, you must know.
I
Oh,
was struck with fear. I am not scholarly in such things. I do not know every kind of demon. I thought she needed help. And she touched me with her gnarled hand and gave me visions of my love, Kea, and how she is kept captive by the Atlanteans, and she demands more bodies to wash. Ever since then, she's haunted my dreams. I see her taking the ones I care for, always leaving me be, but taking the ones I care for, washing them. She's never satisfied. I can't get any rest. I'll die of exhaustion at this rate. I don't know what to do.
so long as you, oh well, you mean to, he has an awkward kind of gesture and then look on his face. You're going to help her, yes?
I
You
told her I
told
would.
her as such.
I did. I had no choice. I thought she was going to kill me. We are actually preparing now to head south to try to find my love and kill as many Atlanteans as I can, throw them into the river, let her have her due. I fear she won't be sated. I will be haunted to the rest of my days, sent out to kill Atlanteans, provide her with washing.
Well, so long as you give her what she needs or what she has requested of you, you should.
Please, tell me anything I need to do. Will she be sated? How many bodies does she need to wash? Must I kill the entire Atlantean race? I don't know.
No, that should not be necessary. Although it would help all of us, I suppose. Here, yes, indeed. But that is an impossible feat, for they are vast and many. Now, you've made a pact with this thing. If you hold up your end of the bargain, she may grant you all sorts of boons.
What could that foul creature give me? I've never seen something so hideous and horrid in my life. I'm not scared of much but her. She frightens me to my very core.
Oh, that would be, I suppose, up to her what she could offer you. So long as you do as she says, as you've asked her for help, or as you've asked, excuse me, you've offered help, I suppose, unwittingly thinking that she was just a mortal babushka, and now she seeks this payment. If you bring her or sacrifice these bodies, throw them into the river for her to sate her lust upon, she could possibly become, dare I say, an ally to you. But how hideous and horrible she might be. But it's not. It is never wise to sup with demons. No.
Well, if I had known she was a demon, I never would have talked to her. God's help any babushka lost by the river now, because I won't be helping them. I will not be helping them anytime soon. But how many bodies does she want? I don't know.
I cannot say how many their demons are entities of the darkness. They seemingly have an insatiable things for the light and the life force, and that it resides in all beings.
How can she expect me to bring her these offerings as tribute when I cannot even get a decent night's sleep? I'm running on fumes. Every time I close my eyes, I'm just assaulted by these horrible visions.
I do not know, but so long as you do as she says, she may relent.
I have every intention of doing it, but the Atlanteans are far away. We are getting ready to go by boat through the river now to head south. It will take 2 chains at least. And if she just keeps hounding me through the whole journey, I'll probably be dead before we even reach it from exhaustion.
Oh, I suppose once you set yourself upon the road, she will relent. You've been through so much. You and the Red Blade have been through so much, and you have much unclean energies about you, and that's why you are attracting these horrible things to you.
Well, I guess that's what we deserve, right? All the bodies we piled up, all the corruption and taint we have. It seems that we sup with demons because we're turning into them.
He just nods. Yeah, you that's the nail on the head there. But he says nothing and gives you a grim nod, grim look.
Well,
I can possibly speak with the great goddess on your behalf in hopes that she can preserve you. One of her mighty sons, to see this to an end. And hopefully you are able to have a peaceful congress with this hag.
I will take whatever aid I can get, though I do not know if I am worthy of the great goddess's attention.
Oh, that's nonsense. He stands and he tells you to go sit in the shrine, and he'll prepare a ritual for you.
Blargvir will start getting up, and then he'll kind of just, his arms will be wobbly a little bit, he'll fall back down, and he'll just get up again, basically like an old man trying to get out of bed. He's so exhausted, and then he'll just lumber over to the shrine and collapse to his knees and just sit there.
All right, so this ritual will take some time, and once he's actually finished, he will dismiss you. We will change scenes and be back in the village with Warwick and Shihan.
Yeah, so Shihan's going around following Warwick's advice, gathering up the some spears, fishing spears specifically from Lakinia, trading her a couple of his pretty silver baubles. Going and speaking with Olivia and asking her if she has any travel bread in exchange for.
She has several loaves for you. She'll have a dozen of them.
Okay. I'll see if she'll trade that for a dozen bronze arrows, or bronze arrowhead arrows that I've made myself. I say so. Ones I've maintained.
She'll take it. Yeah.
Okay. I know her husband loves good arrows, and just to see how good they are. Oh yeah, these are good arrows. That is going to be a 22 for those arrows. For the time that I've maintained them and actually improved them a bit. And the entire time as we're walking along, sort of, I'll do my deal and I'll turn to work and say, "So you have 40 spears?"
Yes, but they are busy defending the village from whatever marauders.
I understand. I was just thinking to myself, you might want to fortify your lands a little better as far and prepare for a possible invasion from these cultists. I hear there's a lot more of them than we thought there were.
Oh, believe me, I'm way ahead of you
Okay, good.
in that regard.
Do you think you might be willing to contact this Lar Goblin chieftain in the valley and, if nothing else, use him as a forward sort of eyes for your people to keep an eye on these? And there are goblin slaves among the cultists too who might know things, and as we all know, no one really looks at slaves as much more than what they are. Tools, but they're tools with ears.
I suppose that I could,
So,
having the eyes and ears of a neighbor might
Yes.
Might do me well.
yes, I think it would. I wouldn't want to see anything bad befall you and yours.
Of course not.
Especially that boy. He's got there's something about him. Yeah.
Oh, Corwin?
Yes. He's
Oh,
he has a quicker wit than most boys his age.
oh, he's not mine. He is
Huh.
he is a friend's eldest.
Yes, but still, it's good to keep an eye on young ones who like him, foster and make sure his talents are channeled in a positive way and not corrupted and driven to avarice and darkness and well.
That's why he's
Horrible
been
things.
given to the temples. He's
Good.
that wit of his is, and he just kind of gives a worried look. Hey, he's not like other young boys.
I
There's
didn't
something
notice that.
of him.
Send something, yes. What do you know or have you encountered, since I know that you are near the waters quite often, apparently, of washerwomen?
Oh, you mean the hag?
Yes.
Oh, well. I know that you do not speak that we speak with them. They do not.
Yes.
Do not speak with them. Do not have Congress. Do not. If you see one, you walk the other way.
You may have heard Vlogbeard did not walk away.
Oh.
That's
No.
why. That's why he's going to speak with his priest. So
The priest will do little for him.
make him feel better. That's why he looked so grim. He hasn't slept well. This thing has put a gas upon him to go to the south to give the bodies of Atlanteans. So that's where we
Do you
are
know
out
what
to next.
makes the washer demons?
No, I do not.
It is a babushka that's fallen to the darkness.
Ah.
So,
I think he did think she was a Babushka.
well, she was once,
Mm.
as the legends go. There are many of such of these entities that haunt old, forgotten waterways, and they prey upon mortals who would fish or come to swim or bathe. And
I can believe that. Though most of the Babushkas I've seen, though they've been different, they've not brought me harm. But that one, I don't know.
No. You know, all babushkas serve the greatest of their kind.
It's true.
The babushka that watches over all mothers and grandmothers, you see.
Yes, they do. And what I have been told is from time to time, the babushka will walk the world and place themselves in a place where a woman encountered them. And if you are not polite to her and do not treat her well, she will curse you for the rest of your days.
That's why you be kind to your grandmother.
Yes.
and all other grandmothers, lest you incur the wrath of the babushka.
Yes. And this can be very difficult among our kind because our grandmothers don't look much older than our sisters.
Well,
Thus, we treat our sisters well too.
you just treat all women folk of all races nicely.
Yes. That is true. That is very true. At least give them a chance. He thinks back on the sylph and the dagger that he tossed to her.
I suppose at this time you've depleted most of your coinage, but
Yeah.
everyone seems rather rather pliable when it comes to gold. We'll say you have at least one coin left.
That reminds me. Some nights back, Blockbeard and myself came across these slavers. I'm sure you've heard of the tale by now. These red-skinned slavers taking slaves and such. That's, of course, obviously keeping the young ones close by. They had among their slave pens a sylph.
His eyes, his eyebrows kind of disappear into his hairline for a bit.
Mhm.
Really?
Yes.
I'm
We-
surprised to see a sylph down in these lowlands. They're
I was-
normally up in the high vales.
I was too, and she did not look well.
Well, so she's
Um,
sick. It's too warm down here, of course.
Yes. So, Blockbeard and myself, we did not have the wherewithal to free her at that moment.
Oh, shame.
But I was able to slip a knife to her. So I'm hoping that bit of a chance might have allowed her to, in a moment of inattention by her captors, cut through her bonds and possibly escape. So if you happen to come across a sylph, it is a possibility these days. So,
I suppose.
if not, if you do come across a sylph, would you be so kind as to offer her shelter as if you would offer it to me?
Of course. Or send her on her way.
Yes, just give her a make sure she does not leave thinking badly of your kind or the rest of us. And he takes that last coin and hands it over to Warwick and says, "If this will help with that, toward that, I don't think we'll really need it."
I suppose. I'll hand it to Friggath when she comes back.
She can spin it into more bowstrings, possibly.
Well, perhaps.
Not sure how women do this. Spinning is beyond me. So I've heard tales of some of our kind being able to spin this gold from straw, but I don't believe it to be the case. I think it's just just the fancy tales that are told around the campfire at night about different things to to startle mortals.
At this point, Blogvir will come back. He will have his shadow sickness reduced by 2 points, and his exhaustion reduced by 1 grade. So he's feeling significantly better.
Woot, woot.
And that is up to Blogvir if he wishes to divulge the information how this was done, or if he wishes to reveal the secrets of his religion, those secret arts practiced.
Well, are we ready, Shihan?
I believe so. We've got some provisions. I've got some fishing spears, about 4 of those, about 12 loaves of traveling bread, 300 pounds of bear meat, a couple of bear skins, 2 golden bowstrings, and go ahead and see if they have salt here by chance.
Yes, they do.
And get about 20 pounds of salt too, just in case we happen to come across fresh game we have to preserve. So
So that'll be about 32 days worth of provisions.
I'm down to 28 arrows, 28 bronze arrows. Okay. All right. And so I guess we need to go find ourselves a boat now.
Yes. Let's hope the little one gets into the bargain.
I hope so.
Warwick kind of cocks an eyebrow at the two of you.
Little one. It was a very short man. No need to worry about it. Nice to see you again. We should be on our way.
We gave him 2 pieces of the shiny metals. So and he said he would procure us a boat.
Which is a blatant lie. Come on now.
Oh yeah, I'm not very good at it. I rolled a 2 and a 1.
On your
so,
deception?
Yes.
Jesus.
Sion's not very deceptive.
No, he's very straightforward.
He's generally a very straightforward individual. So he's yes. It was a very short
Warwick,
bath. I think he might have been possibly even someone who had a congress with the goblin, and yes, he had a small boat he was going to procure for us, and yes. I think his name was Bob.
What is Corwin up to now? He says a little bit more accusatorially than he probably needs to.
Well, I was teaching you how to handle the spear this morning.
I mean about a boat.
At the moment, I don't think he can do anything with the boat. He said something about going and speaking with his uncle, I think.
Shihan.
Yeah, he's getting us a boat.
Whose boat?
His uncle's.
He's
he's
giving you his uncle's boat. What?
That's what he said. He said he wasn't using it anymore.
Oh, God save us. I'm gonna Corwin, I swear. He just looks at the sky. Oh God, boy. Oh. He looks at you both in the eye and he says, I'm gonna look this way. When I turn around, you'd better not be here.
Okay.
And he turns and he looks.
And we
we go the other way. We leave.
We're going to walk toward the river.
Get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yes.
And as Corwin had promised, he is sitting on the well, playing a harmonica, because apparently Arboreans have harmonicas now. And he has a bit of blood slicked back in his hair, the red cap fashion, of course. Looks good on him, actually. And he looks up at you two. He smiles. Goes,
Hello.
Hey, gentlemen. What, shall we?
Yes, you might want to avoid Merrick for a few days, though.
Why? What of Warwick?
He may have discovered your plan.
And
no
you
fault
told
of
him.
ours. No fault of ours.
That's a lie.
Shihan told him I didn't do nothing.
Well, I mean, he caught us in the yes, he helped us get provisions, and then he looked a different direction. But
we pissed off a lord now.
So he now knows of our plan.
He knows of the boat, unfortunately.
We should make haste.
Well, he looks dejected at Shihan. Why did you?
I'm not a very deceptive person. I'm sorry.
May the gods make sure that you never take up a career in the church. Now, come on.
I agree.
He hops off of this, off the well, and he leads you down to the river. Now, To be perfectly fair, it's actually the same path that Blogbeer took down to the river.
Yeah, he's already having flashbacks. He's starting to have PTSD or something. He's starting to sweat. His eyes are wide. He's looking around like a fucking meth head or something, dude. He's freaking out.
But the path changes about 30 feet too early, and he brings you up about 800 yards upriver to a kind of a small like lagoon area that's kind of overgrown with swampweed and tall grasses and such. And you see this big ogre-sized, like long skiff barge thing. It sits low to the water there. Well, I told you I'd find you a boat.
You did. You did well.
Now I have to get you lot in there and down the river.
Yes, we do. So we'll start loading the supplies into the boat. So, would that be traveling for that one as well?
No, that'd be a provisioning check too.
Provisioning. Okay.
Pack it all in.
I literally have no idea. Well, hold on. I have a apothecary now. I don't know anything about provisioning. So that would be under cunning, yes?
Yes, it is.
Okay. The basic roll for cunning. Oh. I'll send you a picture, Rafe.
Oh, shit. Did you?
I did do a double 8.
Excuse me. Provisioning is actually under spirit.
Oh, okay. So I still did double 8. So
Oh, no.
I will
All
send
right.
it to you there, sir, my friend. There you go. It's on your Rafe Facebook page or Facebook little chat.
Oh, my God. And you're using the paper plate. Oh, my goodness.
Yes, it's the best. That is the absolute best dice tray ever. Paper plate. So nothing rolls out of it. So
Now, yeah, no. So you actually very skillfully tie everything down, get everything situated. It's snug in there now. You both haul yourselves into the boat, and thankfully, it supports all of you.
there we go. Me in the front, Blogbeer in the back, and look at Blogbeer.
It's got a nice long ogre-sized rudder pole at the back. So,
All right. So I'll look at Corbin. I'll say, Corbin, thank you very much for your assistance today, and I hope I didn't get you in too much trouble with with Warwick.
no. It'll be all right.
And I'm sure with your wit, you'll be able to get yourself out of it before you know it.
It'll be a light scolding at the most, and at the very least, it'll be a few more hours of transcribing the sutras and more fatigues at the temple. Oh no, it'll be all right.
I'll smile a bit at that, and then get it serious and look at him and say, "Take care of yourself."
Always. Lekra be with you both. And stick it to those foreigners for me.
Oh yes.
Kind of gives it.
Oh, we will. Don't worry about that.
No. I bid you a good day, gentlemen. He kind of gives you this overly flamboyant and boyish bow with a flourish, and then jogs off into the forest.
Yeah. So shall we push off, Blugbeer?
Let's get this underway.
Push off, get in the boat, and take to the waters.
Excellent. Do you have any grades in? Technically, the skill would be seafaring, but
I do not.
This is not marine travel, but
I do not.
All right. Yeah, neither of you are sailors, so we're going.
No.
We're going to be taking a penalty here, but
Oh yeah.
you should have a decent score in traveling to.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, we're gonna cross our fingers, give you a little bit of a buffer.
I do have a good bit of traveling, yes. So
Are you going downriver to the Uncharted route, or are you going to be going upstream and then going back into the Mortal Tribal Lands?
I think we decided to go upstream back into Mortal Tribal Lands.
All right.
Yep.
And Blogveer's the one driving, technically.
Pretty much, yes.
Driving Mr. Sheehan.
All right. Let's well, and now excuse me, wow, hang on here. Let me look at my notes. Blogveer's driving. Blogveer has grades in traveling, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Or will you actually be relying on Sheehan as the vessel's pilot, if you will?
I have 3 in traveling, and he might have more. So
I have 4 ranks.
So yeah,
So you will be, I suppose, sailing, and Sheehan will be the ship's pilot.
yeah, he'll navigate, and I'll just go where he tells me to.
All right. Roll it, Keith.
Okay. Roll the travel. No,
Not double ones, right?
no,
No,
not that
no.
one.
Oh,
Shit,
no.
no.
No,
Yep, you sink and you lose all that shit, and you both don't drown. Sorry.
you drown, and that's over. Okay, yeah, that's
New
River King,
campaign.
everybody.
When the dice is a 1, but it's a 7 and a 1. So,
Ooh. Oh my god.
but total with all my wonderful stuff with traveling though is going to be, say, 17.
Ooh.
So,
Terrible roll, but you're
yeah, I got plenty of points put up into it. So
there we go.
yeah, traveling is one of my background fortes.
Excellent. Now, we'll say it actually takes you about 2 days fighting the current. The Green River is flowing a little bit more vigorously in this direction, but cross off your provisions for that time period.
Okay.
You finally get around that fork and onto the Gray River, and it should be, mind you, be wary when the game master says should. First day, yeah, no, goes off without a hitch. You guys get to the Green River, and it's smooth sailing.
All right. Just take to the waters and go. I'll be occasionally, of course, watching the river and such as we go, and using some of those fishing spears to spear fish if we get to add to our provisions to eat. So, yeah, that's actually pretty good. Using my wilderness lore to sort of know where a fish is.
Are you foraging for yourself?
Yes.
Or both of you.
Both of us. That's gonna be a 27 for that.
Okay. You'll find that this section of river is actually quite plentiful with large prehistoric fish that you can dry.
They could be Fey folk, though. Remember, it's just a little Pike Lord swimming, transforming into a fish, and we're killing them all. We're just killing them and eating them.
Okay, fine. Make an awareness test to see if I'm attacking any of them. That's
Thanks,
10 on
Grant.
sight. 10 on sight check.
Yeah. So wait. Oh shit. That was a 10 in the sight check.
Yeah.
10 total.
Yes.
Oh come on, Keith.
He has a +1 in sight.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah. You accidentally kill one of the Fey folk.
You cannibalize them. You just eat them.
I'll apologize.
Oh, for God's sake. You should have been fucking shape-shifting into a goddamn fish then.
Yeah, it's all their fault. Okay, don't blame us. They look so delicious.
Yeah, right.
I agree, and I need you to make me a letter apologizing, tie it to the body, and toss him over the overboard. I don't know. But yeah, so we'll I'm assuming we're probably putting in at night or at dusk to camp on the edge of the river.
That's up to you.
I think we probably should.
This is your journey, so
I think we should probably tie up for the night because I don't think I want to be going downriver in the middle of the night. And
I mean, Blogger wants to get there as fast as he can, but he does. He's not stupid, so I mean, he'll tie it off, but he'll be restless wanting to get back on the river, which is something he wouldn't be wanting to do when he first started this, but now he's at peace with it. So
yeah, we'll stop, set our fire, cook a little bit of food, prepare our meals for the next day, and get a little bit of rest if possible. And we'll probably be at first light. As soon as it's light enough to be able to see, Blogger, come on, let's go, and back in the river.
I guess Blogger will stand watch first, since he's not going to get much sleep anyways.
I will say for the first 3 days of your journey, that first night on the Gray River, Bloodfear's actually been sleeping quite soundly.
Praise the goddess.
There's eyes upon you, but your dreams have not been invaded, so take that into consideration.
She's just making sure that I'm doing what I said I was going to do, and when I fuck up, she's going to be like, "Man, nightmares, fuck you."
Shihan, on the other hand, you are haunted by the spirit of a beautiful Fae woman.
Oh no!
You go to sleep one night, and the dreams starts out actually rather pleasant. You're on a river. You're actually walking along this river. It's you're actually familiar with this river. It's the river along the village of your youth, actually. But you're an adult in this dream, walking along this river. The sun is out. It's summer. Beautiful day. You could have picked a worse day to go for a walk. You go down to this river to kind of wash your face and just kind of like watch it in this kind of like serene calmness. And then this is when the ugliness sets in. There's a Fae woman on the other side of the river. She's just staring at you. She's clearly unseelie. And she hollers at you. This ear-splitting, horrible, blood-curdling scream, like someone just shot her. She wails at you like a banshee, eyes full of tears. And of course, you go, what is wrong? Why, you beautiful faith creature? What ails you? And she says, "You killed my husband."
And, I'm sorry. I thought he was a fish. I'll probably wake up yelling that, probably, huh? I'm sorry. I thought he was a fish.
No, you don't wake up yet.
Oh, darn it.
That's right. You just, maybe there's a catch in your throat, like you're trying to protest or say that you're sorry, and then she melts into this horrible banshee, and then she like lunges across this river at you as you wake up.
And at that point, yes, I'm sorry.
Well, you weren't snoring that loud. Why are you apologizing?
I think I'm being haunted by the wife of the fish I killed. That's so bad.
Well, you didn't eat them, so that's something.
True. I'll go over to
a corruption defense test on you, Keith.
Okay. That's based on sight, right?
Yes. Excuse me, spirit.
Shihan, the Kinslayer, the cannibal. He's gonna have his new title.
Damn him.
And then does conditioning work into that as well?
Or was it in this case?
Okay. All right, 4, 5. This we total of 8.
Oh, okay. You take 1 point of shadow corruption.
Okay.
You wake up smelling that smell of dead fish.
Oh no. Smelling dead fish or Bloodveer. Or smell my underarm.
Ugh.
Not that. We overchecked our provisions. Not that.
Nope.
Walk over to the river edge and look.
You
I
see
think
the
it's your
ghostly
conscience.
apparition of a fey woman just staring at you with disdain on
I'll
the other end of the other bank of the river.
walk out and just where I'm ankle deep in the water, fall to my knees, and I yell across the river, "I'm sorry. How may I make it up to you?"
That apparition just it kind of evaporates into the fog.
Shihan, get out of the water. What are you doing?
Trying to make her forgive me.
Who? There's no one there.
She was there a moment ago. I swear.
I thought I was going crazy.
Either way. Oh, he gets up and goes back over, stumbles back over to the camp and sits down and says, "You might as well get some rest yourself, Bloodveer. I'll sleep more tonight."
Just don't throw yourself in the river and drown or something while I'm sleeping.
I'll try not to.
All right. I guess Parker just hunker down and get some sleep.
Keep my eyes open. Oh, that one spear, I'll pick it up and look at it. Catch it into the fire.
You will find for the next 2 chains as you're on this river, you are haunted by that same reoccurring dream. But as the days go on, it gets more dramatic and more heartfelt. And Shihan, you almost get to the point where I should shave my head and become a priest. Oh
Yeah. I actually at one point yell that as I wake up. "What do you want me to do? Shave my head, become a priest?"
What? No, I want you to stop yelling.
Sorry. Dream again.
We'll have a brief interlude here as the stage curtains close. There's a few moments of blackness. The curtains open to the scene of that long time ago in that village of the Misty Wood. Shihan remembers this place with some fondness.
Mm-hmm.
He'll remember that the chiefess of the village was actually quite pregnant. She had a very large belly. She probably was expecting twins, but as a mortal woman, it was quite impressive that she was very active in her pregnancy. She is now in bed with the village babushka, a couple priestesses of Vostru, and she's in labor. She is expecting the baby will be here in possibly a matter of a couple hours or tomorrow morning. We don't know. But it's a horribly tense scene. The whole birthing process. And of course, curse the gods. The village gets attacked by we don't know what, but we see this tent full of these wet nurses and these midwives, and the village babushka. She's chanting the sutras of Vostru. And of course, thank the gods and thank Vostru herself. The baby comes, and it's a little baby girl. And outside, the village is being attacked. We still don't know by what, but we hear the sounds of battle, clamoring, bronze, and the shouts of dying men, and maybe some savages out there. We're not quite certain. The front flap of this tent is thrown open, and two troll men, savages, come in with their copper axes and their copper short swords, and they cut down a couple of these nurses. And luckily, the babushka is able to sidestep out of the way of one of this axe stroke, and the chiefess, being the powerful warrior woman that she is, she's holding this little baby girl close. All right, she's holding her really close, and she kind of leans over on the side of a bed. She grabs her broadsword and she tears the thing out of a scabbard. In one stroke, she buries it in the skull of one of these savage, barbarian, horrible monstrosities, and it just bites into its skull with this crack and a bit of blood spatter. And the thing is, the sword's buried in there. She, again, hasn't put the kid down. Hasn't stopped breastfeeding at this point. Nah, she's killing people. She puts her right bare foot on the flat of her sword, and she pushes the skull off. And as another one of these savages comes in to have a go at her, she stabs him in the throat. As this warrior mother does not have time to be spending on these horrible savage things, she drops those two corpses down. She rests this bloodied sword on her lap as she leans down. She checks her new daughter, kisses her on the top of the head, and out of the corner of her eye, she's just glowering out that front flap of the tent, seeing the battle rage outside. Luckily, the village repels these barbarians. A few scenes later, a few days have passed, and her troop, the rest of her village, are packing up their village, moving to another seasonal location that is hopefully much safer for her people. We see her cross the village, cross the Great Gray River into the Atlantean occupied lands. It might be strange that she would do such a thing, but she needs to protect her new daughter and her people as these seasonal raids from these subhuman savages become more frequent. She is holding her new daughter under one arm, in her left arm, and she has a great war spear in her right. She's using it as a walking stick. And the last thing that we see of this scene before the stage curtains close, as she turns around this hill and she looks down this hill to see this long snake of her people in this sled train, as the last few finally cross the river. As they ford it, the curtains close, and we find our raiding party just getting into their skiff. They've been on this river for 6 days now, not quite a full chain. We'll have a brief soliloquy here as Blogveer pushes off the bank. Blogveer, the stage lights come up to illuminate him. Tell us what he thinks and feels.
We're making decent time. At least the nightmares have stopped. But I grow anxious. I grow very anxious. I don't know how long she will wait until she strikes again. It's not my fault. There's no Atlanteans here to appease her. My blade and my club, they thirst, but I cannot quench them. Every day it takes us, it's closer to Kea being killed or beaten or anything. I don't know. But all I can do is just keep going with the hope that everything will be all right. And Shihan, now he's cursed by some widowed pike Fey woman. If it wasn't for bad luck, we wouldn't have any, it would seem. But all we can do is keep going. Take it one day at a time. Take it all with a grain of salt. But I'm one step closer to Kea every day. And we'll get there. It seems like eternity, but we'll get there. And I'll be with her at last.
Beautifully done, my friend. Thank you. Now, the stage lights illuminate the now haggard and exhausted Shihan.
He's mumbling under his breath something inaudible, but in his own mind, he's like, every night, just across the river, just yelling, screaming at me. I've told her I'm sorry every night. Every time I turn around, I've offered her everything. What does she expect me to do? Shave my head and become a priest? Does she want me to lop off my manhood and cast it into the water? Or does she wish me to go into the underworld and try to retrieve her dead husband? What does she expect me to do? Maybe I can, I don't know, if I write a letter and burn it, will Gilfrick get it and go find the fellow and send him back? I don't know. Maybe he'll take him into his house and feed him or something. I don't know how this works. This is getting crazy. Water everywhere I look at. Yes, okay, we had to travel further today. His mind literally is racing with this, trying to occupy his time instead of the thinking of the dread of the fact that tonight he'll get no rest again. Because as soon as his head lays down and his eyes close, there she'll be again, doing her wailing, doing her screaming, that awful screech. He reaches up to his head and grabs his head just a moment until he shudders a bit, shakes it off, and makes sure the front of the boat as it clears the gravel at the edge of the river as they push off, and he levels himself up in and sits down and once again starts the whole, what does she want me to do?
Now, on this day, that's the river is quite misty. There's a bit of overcast. There's quite a bit of gloom. Blogvir is safely steering your boat through the winding ways, the winding sandbars here and there. There's a section of the great river that becomes more marshy and boggy than anything else. So you take care to make sure that you don't get bogged down. And you do spy that hag on the bank of one of these marshy inlets. And miraculously, she doesn't do anything. Almost. And that might be worse. She's just watching you. That hideous face of hers and those green glowing eyes, that stench of lake and moss just permeates now. And she just watches you drift on by. You catch yourself you nod. Just, yep, I see you. You see me. I'm going in the direction that you want me to go. She just watches you until you're out of sight. You pass through this boggy lowland, and then the sun comes out. And peace indeed does endure. But there's that foul reminder. 3 more days pass. You find yourself drifting on by that big hill that the Cairn Ward was now on. And as you know, they had moved on to another seasonal settlement. You kind of mark it on your personal map. Oh, okay. This is where we are now. Shion, you might find a sigh of relief escape your lips at this. All right, I know exactly where we are.
Yes. So I'll look for a place to put in near that hill where we buried our provisions.
That would be on the Atlantean side, about an hour down the river.
Okay, so that's definitely where we'll be heading to first, I think.
All right. Make an awareness test here, quick. I want to see if you remember exactly where.
7, 9. That is going to be a 21.
Oh yeah, everything is still there.
Okay.
The grain is a little bit, possibly some field rodents had a go at it over the past couple months, but most of it is indeed still there, and it's not spoiled or anything.
Excellent. Get a sack or something and start loading it in there to add to our current provisions, and then get the other implements that were in there. I think there were some axes and some hammers and a few spearheads.
Actually, a few spears, full spears, and you had 2 sets of carpentry tools and 2 log cutting axes in there yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know if or not that you had arrows in there yet. I think you took all the arrows the first time. But that's 6 days of grain. I do remember that. If we had that other character sheet, we would have all that information. Keith, are you muted at all? Oh, wait, Keith dropped on us. Shit. Okay. Grant, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Here, let me see.
I guess he just died.
Let's see. I sent the link to him again. He should be back shortly. Yeah, Grant, if you want to take a $5 here, we can
all right
for a little bit while I see if I can get Keith back here.
All right, I'll be back.
All right. Hey, Keith, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh my
There
god!
we go. We're back. Sorry about that. So, yeah. Next goal, new modem.
Sorry, Keith. What'd you say?
Yeah. So next goal, new modem.
Right. Got to have all of our equipment. I was about to say, I messaged you saying if you can't get on, well, I mean, I have to call it. But no, you're here now. Fantastic. All right.
Made it.
Back where you guys were. You were in the middle of ransacking a cache.
Yes. So yeah, so I recovered carpentry tools, log cutting axes, and that 6 days worth of barley. I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, barley.
All right.
I'm gonna just say that you guys had the burlap or possibly leather sacks to store all of this in anyway, and just you're good. As you are technically on Atlantean occupied soil right now, and you are on their side of the river, you have the option to travel on foot, or you can still sail downriver.
Which way is your heart pulled you, Blogbeer?
It just tells me to go south. I smell salt air.
Well, we know the Atlanteans are not too far from here. We've seen them before.
I haven't really thought this through. Two of us can't take out all the Atlanteans by ourselves.
No, but I mean, we can offer to trade for her, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking as the left side of, I suppose, the raiding party's brain, she technically is a slave. If Blogveer likes it or not, she is. So you might be able to go that route. Hey, even though that won't sit well with Blogveer one damn bit.
No,
I'm
nor
sorry, Grant. I'm sorry.
nor the washer demon. Like, I come all this way and don't kill Atlantean, she's gonna like eviscerate me. We're only two people. What did you want from us? Jesus, we can't kill them all.
She don't care. She's a demon. Either way, she'll get her due out of you or out of the Atlanteans that you give her. So, hey.
So I was just trying to sort of, raise armies and stuff. But so, yeah, at this point, I guess, it's up to you, Blogbeer. We continue on by water. We can. We'll travel a little bit faster. If we go by land, I mean, I'm not sure. We probably have a better chance of finding local Atlanteans, at least finding their trail.
Let's stay on the water for a while. Maybe we can find those some Nemercians or someone down here.
Yeah.
And it will take some time to unload all the cargo onto the sled.
That is true. That will take some time, yes.
And this way we're not on their land, so they won't attack us on sight if they see us in a tree line or ambushes or something.
Yeah, that's true. We can actually keep an eye out, and I think at this point I might need to string my bow again and steer away from carrying the spear for provisioning, and just keep an eye out. So he'll go over and look at his bow and pull off the string he currently has, using one of the new bow strings on it. So,
the pretty blonde ones.
Yes.
So back to the river with you then?
I believe so. Yeah, take the new materials and put them in, pack them into the boat. Hey, so it's not going to be double eights, but it's going to be a 16. I'm packing them in.
You do find a place for it. However, at this point, you are still quite heavily laden with gear and supplies that
Yeah.
that skiff. It can handle more, but you're just kind of you're not a
Yeah.
very skilled boatman, so you're wary to put more on it.
Okay. Okay. In that case, put the food in and just leave it that. Then and we'll put the tools back possibly. I actually just carry one set of the carpentry tools, so we had two, I believe, and
there's
rebury
two each.
those. And rebury when the wood cutting axes, because that's trade goods. I'm thinking to myself, that's
Right.
good tools. Those are worth a lot.
And they're Atlantean made,
So,
so you know
and
their quality.
Yeah. And they're bronze, aren't they?
They are.
Oh yeah, so they're worth a lot. All right, so load that up and head back on the river for a bit and just see where it takes us. So.
All right. So 3 more days, and you've crested your first chain on this river, and there's quite a bit more to go before you actually hit the ocean.
Any sign of Atlantean activity on the river at banks or anything like that?
Make me a wild lore test.
Wild lore. That.
As this is technically tracking.
That is gonna be a 19.
You do see that a long train of which you assume to be a caravan has passed about, you assume, just less than a chain ago. We're looking at close to 8 days.
Okay. I'll bring that to Bloodbeard's attention. Like a caravan or a train when we'll cross the river here.
I can't tell if they're Atlanteans or not.
They are going to the Atlantean side.
Okay. I'll go ahead and motion Bloodbeard to pull over to the side and get out and look at the footprints and such. Is this sleds? Is this horsemen? Is this military hobnail boots?
They are mostly sandals and barefoot, as you assume, and obviously the sled here and there.
Yeah. Hey, Bloodbeard, did
you also do see the hooves of some great beast of burden, although that beast you're not familiar with.
Have you, Bloodbeard, have you known the Atlanteans to ever go barefoot or with sandals?
No. If this was military, they would be in full gear. Definitely not barefoot.
It might be worth following these. I mean, which direction is the train heading? Is it still heading generally south, or is it east or west?
West and south. It's going from the east, from the mortal side to the Atlantean side, east to west, and then it turns south. Okay. So they're generally going in the direction that you're going, but a ways away.
It is going. The path seems to turn south that way. What do you think? Let's go ahead and put in here and follow this path.
Yeah.
See who it is.
I'll start unloading the boat. You try to find some way to disguise it, I guess. Maybe. Okay. Don't nobody stealing it. Maybe, I don't know.
You're about a chain north of the ocean at this point.
Okay. In that case, I'll look for a good place to pull the boat on the shore and to hide it somewhere. Very good. That is gonna be a 32 on wilderness lore.
No, for fuck's sake! Come on now.
Really?
All right.
No double eights. I did roll an 8. So let's see.
That sounds like a couple then. Yeah. So
yes,
mark your tally mark down. Now. Yeah, so it'll after a few hours of unpacking, you put to the Atlantean lands.
Mm-hmm.
How far do you actually wish to travel at this point? Are you actually following this camp, or are you just tracking them over land for a few days and then going back to the river? What's your plan?
I think we'll probably check them over land for a bit just to see if we come across anything. These could be Nemersians. They could be people who are refugees. They could be people who have been taken captive, or it could be a raiding band for all we know. This could be a raiding band of for the cult. So,
Okay.
they could just be poor farmers looking for a place to live. So
make me a wild lore test, and we'll say 3 days. You're going to track them over land.
okay.
No, I'm asking. That's
Yes. Yeah. That sounds
okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So 22 on that.
Okay. Go ahead and mark off your provisions there. You can confirm they are indeed Nemersians, or at least you're about 90% certain, because you do come across a bit of torn, multicolored linen on a bramble bush, and a bit of Nemersian hair along the way, but you don't find signs of life outside of obviously fauna.
Yeah. So.
And megafauna at that. You find woolly rhinos kind of grazing in the fields.
Okay. Probably going to avoid those for now because we got decent provisions. They could be a distraction.
Or they could kill you.
Yes, well, they can kill you.
There's 8 of them, so.
Yeah. So, skirt past them, and after that third day, I looked at Black and Blockbeard and said, do you still feel like we're going in the right direction at this point?
They're heading south, and they're not Atlanteans. I think we should probably follow them more.
Okay.
I don't know why non-Atlanteans would be on this side of the river. Doesn't make sense. Unless they're going to raid them, but they're barefoot with sandals. Doesn't seem like a raiding party or a war party, so.
Well, with all the disruption of the crops and the Reaper King and all that plaguing them behind, they may be looking to go and beg for food. It's possible.
Or they could be forwarding over here because they need more resources, and they tend to set up camp over on this side, which is dangerous. And if that's the case, they may need our help, or they may be able to help us against the Atlanteans.
That's true. So I guess we'll continue on this path then. So,
for how many more days?
I guess until we find them.
Okay. So about 7 more days, and you'll be at your 2 chains worth of journey, which would have taken you to the sea. But if you continue down this track, which, yes, you do. Question?
Yes, we do.
All right. 4 days along this track, you actually find a village. It is a mix of Atlanteans and Nemersians.
Okay.
As you know, the Atlanteans have been on the mainland for about, it's just shy of 40 cycles at this point. And we'll say 38, 39 cycles. And quite a few of these Atlanteans are actually gone native, or at least partially native. The men and women have taken to wearing their hair in the Nemersian fashion, and they're starting to wear the heavier woven garb of the Nemersian people. But obviously they don't have the freckles that the Nemersians have. This village has maybe about 150 people in it. You've not entered the village, mind you. You're
Right.
observing it from like a nearby hill, kind of looking down into it. What do you wish to do at this point?
Shall we go speak with the Blockbeard? Seems to be Atlanteans down there as well as Nemersians. Can you control yourself?
I'll save my anger for now.
These
We
don't
need
seem
all
to be
the allies we
soldiers.
can.
Yeah, these don't seem to be soldiers. They seem to be just simple farmers.
We shouldn't let our guard down, though. These Atlanteans are crafty, fish
That is
fucking
true.
genocidal maniacs.
That's true. So shall we enter boldly and in the open, or shall you be going to do some scouting for you before you come in?
Let's just go in boldly. Show no fear.
Okay.
If they are farmers, then they won't be trouble. And they'll show their true colors soon if they're not.
That's true. All right. Stand up and just literally walk into town.
Okay. You get some odd looks as as a fae and an ogre. There are no other ogres in the village, but quite a few mortals. You get some weird looks, but no one accosts you in any way. And people kind of just give you, or excuse me, they pause, they regard you for a few moments, and then they go back to what they're doing. They're peasant folk, so.
Okay. I'll walk up to one of them and speak the Nemersian tongue that I know and ask if they understand me.
Are you mean you speak to another Nemersian or to Atlantis?
Yes, a tribal Nemersian is what I know.
Yeah, she understands you.
Okay. I tell her we're looking for a group that may have come through here recently that were a large number, I think Nemersians. They were headed south.
She points along the main thoroughfare of this village that kind of has a gentle curve to it. She points more in the south direction.
How long did that before we reached here? Did they come through?
About 6 days ago. They were in a hurry. They stopped to resupply for a few hours, and then they set themselves out on the road again.
Okay. Thank you.
They had said that their village was attacked by the subhumans.
Yeah, many villages north of here have been attacked that way. So it's all the work of a group. They call themselves the let's see, where is that? They call themselves the. Where the heck is my note on that? Here we go. They call themselves the Cult of the Darkened Face.
She just nods. We don't have trouble like that here. The Atlanteans keep much of the savages at bay, or they enslave them.
I've heard. So glad to hear you're safe here, though. So.
She nods. The Atlanteans are not as foul as we like to think they are. They're not cruel masters.
But masters nonetheless.
She takes a sheaf of wheat and hauls it over her shoulder and bids you a good day as she walks off.
Good day. So 6 days, Bloodbeer. That's how long it's been since they came through.
Blockbeard is eyeballing the Atlanteans here. He's got a grimace on his face, especially since he said that they're not vile masters and all this. And oh no, he's like, these two are just fucking bitch. Fucking bitch fuckers.
There is an Atlantean woman who you mistake for a mortal woman as she's wearing her hair in the Nemersian fashion. She just smiles at you, and there's a kindness in there that really she may or may she probably is being very genuine with you, smiling at you as a greeting, but it's probably very unsettling for Bloodbear.
It is. Like, he hates the Atlanteans. So in the very back of his head, he knows that there's people who just want to live their life. You know, they're not the, war hungry conquerors. Like, he doesn't group them all together. But and on the other hand, he wants to just fucking slaughter them off what he does. So he knows that she's probably just doesn't know anything about this. She's just trying to live her life and everything. She's not slaving people or nothing. But at the same time, wants to just fucking cut her head off and put on a pike. But he doesn't. So he's
What's worse is they're probably both.
fucking
Horrible
fucking
conquerors
bastards.
and people trying to live their life.
True.
So do you press on?
Yeah, I don't think it'd be a good idea to spend the night here in this village. I don't think Blogger can hold himself together. So yeah,
Yeah, we should press on.
we'll press on to the evening and on to the south. I guess until we find ourselves some more civilization, I guess, or run into these Mercians that are heading south.
We'll either run into them or we'll run into more Atlanteans that are probably less podunk and wholesome.
Yeah, true.
Are you starting to develop a type for Blogbeer? He prefers podunk Atlanteans to the city.
He prefers dead Atlanteans to anything, but I mean, he doesn't like this facade of I'm just a nice person like you. I didn't come and conquer all your lands and everything. I'm all I'm one of you's kinds. And then he's like, no, fuck you, bitch.
No, fuck
back to the
all
water.
of you, man. No, shit.
No one wants you here. No one asked you to be here. Get the fuck out. Just get the fuck out.
I like how fervent he is. So you press on. Let's say 2 more days until the next village, and mostly this is a flat section of land. It's mostly orchards and farming fields. There are more Atlanteans here as you're getting closer to the sea than mortals, but nevertheless, you do find a peace and a harmony here that again doesn't sit well. There's something else at work here. You see a few more ogres here. None who are familiar, unfortunately. On one end of this flat prairie is looks like a fort, a militarized fort, not unlike the Roman fashion. The border fort that's got a high wooden palisade and quite a few laborers in and around it. So you have this kind of this juxtaposition on the right hand side. You have a rather nice and rather idyllic and beautiful farmland, but on the left hand side you have this symbol, this bastion of these conquerors here.
I think we found Atlantis, Blogbeer.
Blackberry is just his fists are just clenched. He's just shaking with rage. You look at these people and this monument of their fucking audacity to come here from those crawl from the fucking sea to come here and take our land. I fucking hate them.
Do you press on to the south, or do you stay here and linger in this area?
I mean, these Mercians are hauling ass.
Yeah,
I don't know where they're going. They just keep going south. So
yeah, I think we need to get some more information gathered. So maybe might be best to spend the night here, if you can handle it, Blogbeer.
I won't kill them all yet. Maybe we can find out where their commander governor is. That's where Kea is, their capital, or their facade as a capital here in the mainland.
Yes, so it could be.
Oh, my headphones.
Yes, let's find ourselves a place to sleep for the night, and at least question these some people here about what they know. What are we going to be experiencing to the south? That's the question.
Hopefully, a lot of dead Atlanteans.
True.
That night, as you find a comfortable dry patch of dirt to sleep on, as it's been sprinkling on and off here, you you don't have a fitful night's sleep, but Blogvir's mind is full of dreams in the land of Morpheus. One thing, however, sticks out to him: the image of a small Nemersian girl. She's about maybe 6 cycles old. Her diamond-shaped freckles on the bridge of her nose and her cheekbones is just starting to come in, and she's actually quite a cute little thing. You have an immediate fondness for this little girl. You see this twinkle in her eye that denotes that she has no small amount of wit, even for her age. As Blogvir is dreaming, he finds himself watching images of this young girl's life as she turns into a young woman. Her freckles come in, and her hair gets longer as she's about 16 or 17 cycles old. She is being tutored by a much older, much more decrepit, a hag of a Nemersian woman. Clearly, this older hag is a babushka of some kind, form, or fashion. These mortals, these women are wearing garb that is much more antiquated and much more ancient than, I suppose, the modern Nemersians. You find yourself thinking, oh, this probably, I'm probably seeing images of the first mortals in this world, as many of the older races refer to a time before the dawn and birth of mortal men. Looking on at this 16-year-old girl turns into a woman in her 20s, or her mid-20s. You see her studying the ancient clay tablets that have runes inscribed upon them. She's clearly becoming a warden, someone who studies the wild pillar of magic. She's becoming a magician. Sometime into her early 30s, she becomes a full-fledged warden of the first mortals. She is kind. She is powerful. And she has an air of not arrogant superiority, but she's clearly a leader of some kind. She may be a battle mistress of her tribe, almost a Xena warrior princess kind of persona. And you see her go through many battles, pushing back entities of the darkness, many nightmarish things of the undead, and pushing them back with weapons of light and fire, until one day she then becomes a mother. Sometime into her mid to late 40s, she becomes a grandmother. She then herself becomes a babushka. She is then finally called to arms in a battle against some shapeless horror from the outer dark, almost a Cthulhuid-like demon that it means to snuff out the light of her village, and she pushes this thing back by herself. But the cost of this battle was a great thing. It left her scarred. Her eyes glow with a sickly, unnatural green, and she leaves her village. For countless eons, she resides near the river. And just before the distant cockerel crows from that fort that next morning, you see the Washer Demon. You don't wake up screaming, but it's almost as this giant hand clicked this gear into place in your mind as you slowly wake up. You sit up in bed. Let's have a closing soliloquy from Blogveer.
So the demon was once a person, a child, and then grew and then corrupted by dark magics. It does pull on the heartstring, but it doesn't make me hate her any less. She's plagued me, hounded me, taken advantage of my generosity and kindness by enslaving me in this quest for her bloodlust. I have more things to worry about. The Mercians we follow are going deeper and deeper south. What are they looking for? What are we going to find when we search for them? It is Kaya, all right. My mind is a whirl. I don't know. I can't focus on one thing. There's too much. What if I don't get there in time? What if the demon grows impatient and wants more blood? I haven't spilt a drop in her name since. I just want to get Kaya. I want to get her safe, and I want these fish fuckers to pay for what they've done. I want this demon to go back into the abyss where she came from and leave me be. I want a lot of things. I want to bury my blade in these Atlanteans' face. I want to bury my club in their skulls. Everything in due time. One day at a time, Blockbeer. Let's focus on one day at a time. We've come this far. Me and Xion have to just keep going. One more day. Always one more day. Eventually we'll get to the end of the road, and then whatever the fates have for us will be decided then. But until now, it's just one more day. Just one more day.
Wonderful. We go to Shihan's thoughts now.
Shihan's thinking about his bind is back into the north. Although he's going with his friend here to help recover his lost love, he's thinking about the danger that the Arborians are in, and the few Nemercians and such to the north, and even the goblins. That cult is growing stronger, and while we're wandering about the south looking for his lost love, they may be uncovering dark things that lead them closer to their goal of slaying all the gods and creating who knows what that thing would be once something like the Reaper King got that much power into it. He shudders a bit thinking about how what that could cause all across the world he's always known. And he's a bit uncomfortable too, because now he's getting into areas where, he's seen sort of shadows of this kind of civilization in his own homeland, but his people aren't really the kind to build large fortresses or cities. Even they're more likely to gather in small enclaves of mostly family, and occasionally see each other on feast days and market days and the such. And this large, imposing building made of dead trees just gives them an odd feeling. And the smell, the smell of human waste, and the smell of blood and offal from slaughterhouse or houses of slaughter nearby, where they would need the meat to feed such a large force, and the rubbish piles just clogs his nose and makes him want to gag. He'd like to get back out in the clean air of the forest once again, the smell of the loam, the smell of clean water running by on a stream, the scent of a thunderstorm that just passed. This is what he wants to smell now, not this horrible stench of mortality. But Blogveer still needs to find his love, and until his Gaius is lifted from his friend, attempting to go back north will never happen. He must bring her back out and with him, or die in the process, and hopefully he doesn't do that. Blogveer, you led us all the way to the south, but I know your heart leads you here, but my mind keeps going back to the north, back to my kin, my cousins, back north to Corwin, the poor child. What if the cult succeeds in slaying some gods, and this Reaper King goes riding across the plains and hills and forests of Arborea, slaying willy-nilly? Oh, that boy be able to do it against something like that. Oh well. Soon, hopefully very soon, we'll be back.
As you're taking in these vistas, now, unfortunately, an image is called up in both of your minds as you're haunted by a familiar, yet by all things good and holy, you wished you'd never have to lay eyes upon such a horrible thing. It's the apparition of the Black King floods into your mind. Just for a moment, you see him in your midst. And that is where we will end the session for the evening. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We will be back next week. Same time, same place. You be there or you be square. Good night, everybody.
Good night.